Have you guys ever heard of the right to disconnect law? Well, keep watching this video because I'm going to talk about the right to disconnect law and how it's your quick ticket to getting fired if this is something you support. And look, I understand that all of us should have a break after work, especially after hours, right? And not on the weekends from our employers harassing us and things like that. But if you're not careful with this, it's your quick ticket to getting fired. And I'm going to go into the reasons why in this video. So keep watching. All right. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right. Now you might be wondering, Silver Bachelor, what does this have to do with dating? Look, it has everything to do with dating because leveling yourself up as a person and in your career is critical. The more money you make, the more options you have. The better you take care of yourself, the more options you have. The more healed you are mentally, and if you're the best person you could possibly be, then the better you are and the better you will be. All right. So the right to disconnect law. This is a law that's just been passed in Australia, in France, and I made a bunch of notes, in France, Spain, and Belgium. Okay. So what the right to disconnect law is, and I'm just going to read the actual definition. It says this legislation allows employees to step away from work-related communications outside their official working hours, ensuring that personal time remains personal. So in theory, this all sounds great, right? Here's the reality, okay? Brian Tracy, one of my favorite authors, studies have been done that most people, by a huge percentage, 80–90% of people, only actually work 50 to 60% of their workday. All the other time throughout the day, they're checking personal emails, they're checking their phone, they're surfing the web. So there's something right away, okay, as something to think about, is that 80–90% of employees only actually are productive or actually do work-related activities 50 to 60% of their workday. Okay. So also, I will talk about Kevin O'Leary. Okay. So Kevin O'Leary, if you haven't seen him, he's on the Shark Tank. He's actually Canadian. He's from Toronto. I'm from Canada myself. And he was on the Dragon's Den, which is the Shark Tank equivalent in Canada. And Kevin O'Leary, this is him, right? And he's a billionaire. And he said, and I think Elon Musk supports this as well, and probably a lot of other executives. And he's like, if I try to communicate with somebody that's on a team that has an event going on, right? Or some other important situation, and I'm going to explain this a bit, and they're exercising their right to disconnect, and I need to get a hold of them because of something that's going on or something that's important coming up, and they don't answer my email, they don't answer my texts, my calls, just because of the right to disconnect, they're fired. And by the way, guys, I'm a marketing executive, okay? And I've had a successful marketing career I've been in marketing for about over 20 years, right? And I've done very well for myself in my career. And I will tell you this, this is the thing, the more letters beside your name as a career, so as soon as you start to as soon as something's added to your title, your job title, now you're manager, director, vice president, head of, CEO, CFO, whatever. As soon as you start moving up in your career, especially as a supervisor, I'll say supervisor as well, supervisor, manager, etc., 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 there's a higher expectation on you, right? Now you have not only higher expectations, you are now accountable and responsible for bigger ticket things. All right. And if your boss, the higher the person you're reporting to, they have a boss. And when something is happening that's very important, they want to feel like they can rely on you. Doesn't matter what time of evening it is. It doesn't matter if it's on the weekend. If something has just happened, they want to feel always, this person's got my back no matter what. Now, I will tell you, in my entire career, I've only worked for 2 workaholics. And I've reported to a lot of people. I'd probably say out of the 10 major, like the 10 most senior bosses I've ever had, I've only had 2 that were actual workaholics that were like, I probably should have had something like this right to disconnect law. I wish I did in Canada at that point because they were constantly on me all the time, right? And so I've had these 2, actually, I would say 3. 3 workaholics out of 10. That's pretty good. That's 7 out of 10 that were not. Now, your employers will, the way you handle this stuff is that if they're, like, for example, I recently had my boss wanting to have a call with me on a Saturday afternoon about this major report that he needed to do, he needed my help with. And I said, hey, look, the timing isn't great because I'm expecting a whole bunch of people over in another hour. Can we speak on Sunday? So you can be flexible and say, hey, look, I'm just picking up the kids. If you have children, can I call you back? But here's the thing. It is the quickest way to get fired. If your boss needs to contact you in the evening or on the weekend, I don't know, those rare occasions, because I'm sure it doesn't happen all the time. Like I said, I had 10 very, very senior bosses, and it only happened 2-3 times were those bosses, right? Now you might be thinking, well, Silver Bachelor, it only takes a one time. What about your family and stuff? Okay, depends on what you want in your life. If you want to have a successful career in anything, well, you want to move up into more senior roles, you better be available to take calls and texts and emails on the weekend and during the evenings from time to time, right? Obviously, you don't want to be in a situation where this is happening every single week, right? But that your boss, who's very senior, is going to want to know that they can rely on you, you have their back, and you're available. So don't be buying into this whole the right to disconnect thing, right? Because that will be the quickest way for you to get fired, and you need to constantly be pushing the limits of what you're possible, what you're capable of, bettering yourself, and go for that promotion and more senior role if you have the opportunity. All right, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.